Coming to you live from the corner of Mississippi and Fate, Texas, comes the hashtag Brothers of Baseball.
I love baseball.
Donnie and Willie Epting.
I see you two all the time. Thick as thieves you are.
Baseball fans, we welcome you to the hashtag Brothers of Baseball here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. I am Donnie Epting. Great to be back with you after a week break. And we've got a lot to talk about this week when it as concerning Major League Baseball. But first, before we get into the business of baseball, let me introduce my brother of baseball and my brother in life and in real life, and not just on radio. Willie Epting Jr. Say hello to the people.
Man, what's going on out there, everybody? Donnie, man, I just want to tell you that it is a pleasure being your brother, not only in baseball, but more importantly in life. How you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm good, man. It's good to talk to you. Before we go on to the first segment, we do want to remind you that this segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball is being brought to you by Drain and Plumbing Services. When plumbing issues arise, don't just call a plumber. Call the master plumber. That's Ken Richardson at 214-317-7881. Call him up today for a quick estimate. All right, Willie. Man, it's been a little while, but we got a lot to talk about. We've had that seismograph-like shift in Major League Baseball for some of the teams, and we'll get into some of that here in just a moment. You ready? You ready to do this?
Man, let's go ahead and get ready to get in this batter's box and take these hacks.
And play ball.
Play ball!
First up, before we get into the goings-on after the trade deadline, Friday, news broke that we have a pending retirement coming up from one of the game's better players. We're already getting ready to lose David Ortiz from the Red Sox. And, of course, when you think or say Red Sox, you have to say and think Yankees. And in this case, Yankees first baseman Mark Teixiera has announced that he is done at the end of this year. Mark Teixiera started playing in the majors in 2003, as this is now 2016, and this is his 8th season up in the Bronx with the Yankees. And, well, for Teixiera, it's been a rough year. He's only played in, right under 80 games for the year. He's batting below 200. The home run pop just isn't there, as he's only hit 10 by the time he announced his retirement on Friday. So it's just one of those things where Teixiera realizes that, hey, he's not able to produce and be that type of player anymore. And he just said, after so many years, it's time to do something else. Let's get into some of the numbers here real quick in Teixeira's career. He has eclipsed the 400 home run mark. Did that a few weeks ago back in San Diego. For his career, he's right around 270. It's not bad. Not bad at all. He's batted in over 1,200 runs, near 1,300 RBIs for him. Check this out. He's had some great seasons. Started out with the Texas Rangers, went to the Atlanta Braves, then spent some time with the LA Angels before making his move to the Yankees. So he's had some pretty productive seasons in his heyday. A great career overall. And we'll kind of talk about quote-unquote legacies for Teixeira. But just want to go over some of his home run numbers here real quick. He had 38 home runs, drove in 112 in 2004 with Texas. The next year, 43 home runs and 144 RBIs. And that season, he hit 300. His best season by far. Then in 2009, his first year with the Yankees, he hit 39 homers, 122 RBIs with a 292 average. Hit 33 the next year in 10, and 11 hit 39. So that's 4 consecutive years from 2008 until 2011, where he hit 30-plus home runs. And even last year, 2015, he hit 31 home runs, but only batted .255. 2013, he only played in 15 games as he lost that season due to injury. So, Willie, let's get you in here. Let's talk a little Mark Teixeira. Just give your thoughts on his pending retirement and, kind of some of the things that you remember most or best about Teixeira.
Yeah, I think for Tex, man, he has had a brilliant career. As you said, he's had multiple tremendous seasons as far as hitting the long ball. He's hit at least 30 home runs in 8 of the seasons that he's played in. However, the injuries have caught up with him with the neck and the hand, and I think he also had a knee. I heard a report on Friday. Dig this. In the last 5 years, he's missed over 500 games. That's your body telling you that it's time to move on. And he's only 36 years old. He just turned 36 on April the 11th. So he's going to go from an old man to a young man in a matter of weeks. This guy, man, he hit 43 home runs and drove in 144 in 2005 when he was with the Texas Rangers. You know what I like most about that year is that he played in all 162 games. And he actually did that again the next season. Mm-hmm. And coincidentally, those are the only 2 seasons in his career where he played the entire season.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get in, man. I think he's got the numbers to get in. He's a pretty nice guy. Excuse me there. He's a pretty nice guy. No off-the-field issues. Well-liked by a lot of players. Well-respected by a lot of players in the media. He's done some stints in the broadcast booth, done a pretty good job. I can actually see him there with one of the networks sometime next season or maybe the season after that, or just whenever he's ready to do so.
Okay, you said he's missed how many games?
I heard it was over 500 games in the last 5 seasons, but that doesn't appear to be right looking at this.
Yeah, because he played he played, let's see, last 5, so that's 12 to now. He played in 123 in 12. And then he only played in 15 and 13.
300 games. It was over. Okay. It's over 300 games.
Okay, I was about to say, hold up.
That's why you have to do your own math, ladies and gentlemen, kids out there listening.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna get started on you math major.
Math whiz.
Yeah, but so you're saying you do believe that Tex is a Hall of Famer?
I believe he is.
That's interesting, and I'm actually going to back you up. I will back you up. Tex played in the days where dudes were still, taking the stuff, still doing the stuff, and he's never been linked to any of that, that mumbo jumbo regarding HGH, steroids, and the like.
I thought you were going to say stuff again.
No. I feel like he's definitely got the numbers. I mean, you look at 05. You mentioned, and we both have mentioned the 43 home runs. He had 41 doubles that year, 40-40 there. In 2009, 39 homers and 43 doubles there. The guy is a hitting machine. He's been able to hit for average. He's been able to hit for power. I think the most favorite stat of mine with Teixiera is the fact that he's won 5 Gold Gloves at first base.
Mm-hmm.
2 in Texas in 05-06, and then he's won 3 with the Yankees in 9, 10, and 12. He was on that World Series championship team in 2009. 3-time All-Star. That did surprise me a little bit, that he's only made the All-Star team 3 times. But
that may be a hindrance, too.
It may be. It may be, but, first base is a position, you've had guys like Miguel Cabrera, Ortiz when he was playing first base, even Euclid with the Red Sox when he started playing first base. Frank Thomas he was still playing with the White Sox back then. He may have been doing, some kind of first base DH kind of split going. So yeah, that may be a hindrance, but I'm with you, man. I think he gets in.
You know what? I want to make a correction. I'm thinking that he actually had more seasons with 30 home runs because if you think about it, he did have the split season in 07 when he was with the Rangers and then he went to the Braves. Mm-hmm. And then when he was with the Angels and he went back to the Braves in 2008.
He had 30 home runs in 2007.
Right.
13 with Texas and 17 with Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
He had 13 in 78 games with Texas, and he hit 17 home runs in 54 games with Atlanta that year. And then he had 33 home runs in 2008 when he split between Atlanta and the Los Angeles Angels, whatever.
And let's remember
their name.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Let's also remember one of his most important characteristics, that he could swing the bat from both sides of the plate.
Yes, indeed. And one of my favorite players of all time is getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame in a year or two in Chipper Jones, who I think is, if not the greatest switch hitter of all time, he's right there with the guy I know you grew up watching a lot, Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray.
Yeah, and Eddie Murray still doesn't smile. So, great career for Mark Teixeira. He's seen the better days behind him. Go get behind him now, and he knows his time, so he's going to go ahead and hang it up. And you've got our Hall of Fame vote, even though we really don't have one in the grand scheme of it, Tex. But, hey, we think you're in. We give you our vote. All right, Willie, so let's segue over. The trade deadline has come and gone, as we've got about 4 minutes left in this segment. Man, time flies by. We've got about 4 minutes left in this segment, so we'll kind of go into part of our discussion. We'll call this the calm after the storm, post-trade deadline. We'll give the top 3 teams in our respective league. Willie has the American League. I've got the National League, who put themselves in best position to make the playoffs with the moves they've made here at the trade deadline. Willie, who you got?
Man, I'm going to go right side of my neighborhood, right outside of my neighborhood is what I said. And I'm going to jump on 30 and I'm going to head west, right to Arlington, Globe Life Stadium, Texas Rangers. You did it. You get catcher Jonathan Lucroy from the Brewers. You also get their closer, Jeremy Jeffress. Excuse me. You also get Carlos Beltran from the Yankees. Now, we all know that Beltran is a proven postseason performer. 3 Ps, baby. Say that 3 times. But anyway, he's going to add some punch to that lineup. Coming in, swinging the bat from both sides of the plate. His left side is the stronger side, which is going to be very, very necessary because you just don't know what's going to go on with Prince Fielder for the rest of the year. So the Rangers are number 1 in my book. Also, the Yankees, not necessarily for what's going to happen this year or even next year, but what all they got back for the trades of Chapman and Miller. And then thirdly, I'm going to go with the Cleveland Indians with the aforementioned Yankees and getting their setup guy and Miller.
All right, so you've got Rangers. You said Rangers,
Yankees. Rangers, Yankees, and Indians.
So wait a minute, you think the Yankees put themselves in the best position to make the playoffs?
Well, I think they won. I kind of tweaked it a little bit, but I think they won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, but that what they did stuck out to me, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it in the show.
Okay. Yeah, Lucroy not going to the Indians, that hurt them. Beltran going to the Rangers, and Prince Fielder is done for the year. He won't be back. They have decided to shut him down, so he won't be back. So, yeah, Beltran will be a nice pickup there, hitting in that ballpark in Arlington. So I'll go through mine real quick in the National League. The top 3 teams in the league who put themselves in the best position to make the playoffs. We're going to go with the Cubs. They got Joe Smith from the Angels and Chapman from the Yankees to add to that back end of the bullpen. Those were the quality moves they needed to make to get that struggling bullpen back up to par. San Francisco Giants. They got Eduardo Nunez from the Twins right before the deadline. He's versatile. He can play infield, outfield, and help get some at-bats for guys who are coming back from injuries such as Hunter Pence and Joe Panic. Then on deadline day, San Francisco got Matt Moore from the Rays in exchange for Matt Duffy and 2 minor leaguers. They also got Will Smith from the Brewers to help out the back end of their bullpen. Then third, I'll go with the Los Angeles Dodgers, picking up Rich Hill and Josh Reddick from the A's. Sorry, Willie. And LA is still putting some heat on their rival Giants in the NL West. Hill is on the DL right now, but he's expected to come off soon. They desperately need his arm because Alex Wood, Hyun Jun Ryu, and Clayton Kershaw are all on the 60-day DL. Brett Anderson is also on the 60-day DL, and he has not pitched yet this year. And then Reddick, good outfielder, good hitter. made Yasiel Puig expendable. So, good pickup there for the Dodgers. All right, Willie, what we'll do is, since we're coming down to the last few seconds of this segment here, we'll pick back up and talk about the race to the finish. We come back from our break. This is the hashtag Brothers of Baseball here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network, and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Lisa with Check Into Cash. We give you more money for your title and guarantee the lowest title pawn rate anywhere. Visit checkintocash.com and get a quick estimate on your vehicle. Save more and get more at Check Into Cash. Loyal customers have trusted us for 20 years for extra cash, and you can too. Restrictions apply. Bring proof of lower rate on similar title pawn. Visit checkintocash.com for the store nearest you.
Check Into Cash.
All right, baseball fans, we are back here on the hashtag Brothers of Baseball here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. This segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball is being brought to you by Drain and Plumbing Services. When plumbing issues arise, don't just call a plumber. Call the master plumber, Ken Richardson, at 214-317-7881. Call him up today for a quick estimate. And we are back. We're going to talk about post-trade deadline, some of the teams who are on the race to the finish. We're going to put a spotlight on some of the divisions with tightly contested races. First, we're going to talk about that gargantuan American League Eastern Division, where potentially 3 teams can make the playoffs. The Yankees were a part of postseason conversation there for a little while, but they kind of sold the farm. Selling off Chapman, selling off Miller, selling off Beltran, Teixeira's retiring. But you got Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston. Willie, let's not pick a winner right here, but let's just kind of put on our crystal ball here for a second. What do you kind of see taking place in the AL East coming down the stretch?
It's going to be a bloodbath, man. It is going to be a bloodbath. Thanks to those defending champions from the AL East. They struggled early on in the season. I remember you saying a lot of the times, it's still early, it's still early. It ain't early no more. But the Blue Jays, man, they have righted the ship. I wish they would have picked up on another starter for their rotation. The Orioles, they still have the power bats with Trumbo, Jones, Machado, and Davis. The Red Sox, they continue to be a story with Big Papi as he continues to just astound. With Price and Porcello and the addition of Pomeranz, Boston may be in position to make a move there in the East. But I'm going to point, man, to the final week of the season. And and it's so coincidental that you said put it on your crystal ball or looking to your crystal ball, because I went all the way to the last week of September when you have Baltimore going up to Toronto for a 3-game set, and then the season wrapping up with Toronto going to Boston for another 3-game set. So the bloodbath is going to spill all the way to the final week of the season.
Yeah, the schedule makers got it right on that one.
They did.
that will be some fun baseball to watch there, coming down the stretch in that AL East. And man, it's hard to believe that we're already into August for one. This season is just about over.
It ain't early.
It ain't early no more, Toto. In the East, Chris Davis is struggling right now for Baltimore. However, they do have the best home record in the American League. So playing games at Camden Yards, a team like Baltimore, they need to do what they can to try to get home field advantage. Although they have the best record in the AL at home, the best record has been for a while here. Kind of been a back and forth battle between Texas and Cleveland, especially when Cleveland went on that long winning streak earlier in the season. But Baltimore's going to need that home field. The Jays, Batista's back, and Encarnacion is driving in runs, seem like in his sleep. Boston, they've got the talent. I don't know which way to go with it, to be honest with you. I have no issue. I can't even tell you. I just hope that for the sake of seeing all 3 of those talented teams make it, hopefully they will all make it to the playoffs. But that only means you'll only get one out of the Central. Speaking of the Central, let's go ahead and segue over to the AL Central. The Cleveland Indians, a small lead on the Detroit Tigers. I'm not going to toot my own horn, toot, but who said a couple of months ago that we will hear from the Detroit Tigers before this season is over. J.D. Martinez is back. Miguel Cabrera he's Miguel Cabrera. And your boy Castellanos is raking for Detroit. What are your thoughts here on the Central as we get ready to come down the stretch?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that this is one of those glitter ain't gold things. Donnie, I know what you said on this very show. I remember what you said. And I'm not talking about being by Pure Flicks. I'm talking about what you said about the Tigers from Detroit. And everything that you just listed makes a lot of sense. But I just think that Cleveland is too strong. They got better at the trade deadline with the pickup of Miller from New York. I don't see what Detroit did to give them a little extra help. I think they need another pitcher in the rotation, although Verlander is having a pretty good season. They can still hit the ball, but Cleveland is still the most complete team in the American League, and they have probably the best starting rotation in the American League, if not in the majors. I think they're going to pull away.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and say bye-bye to the defending world champion Kansas City Royals. It's been real, but injuries have totally torn into them.
Yeah, they're like the walking wounded mass unit, not even the same looking team.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, one more race we want to kind of talk about, the NL West. Giants and Dodgers. It's funny because we haven't seen the Giants and Dodgers play against each other in a playoff series. Ever.
Ever.
Ever. It would be quite the treat if we could, at least San Francisco and LA or what have you, it would be quite the treat if we could get that this year. Willie, what do you say about the NL West as we get ready to hit the back part of the schedule here?
Well, for the Dodgers, man, of course it's going to hinge on Kershaw and that back. I know they made a couple trades with Reddick and getting Hill from Oakland. I mean, that's kind of just to stop the bleeding. The Giants, I mean, they probably had the best pitching rotation on paper going into the season. You and I both thought that. Cueto was still throwing the ball with some oomph. Bumgarner is still that guy. And if they can get anything from those other guys, then I think they'll put some distance between themselves and their hated rivals from the South. Oh, by the way, Yasiel Puig, you are on the waiver block, sir. And it just seems unbelievable that a guy who was once being discussed in the MVP talk after only a handful of games, now can't even hit the ball.
But I'm going to tell you something. And there's the guy who was this big Yasiel Puig fan when he first came out. But I told him, I said, look, you got to be able to do it consistent in baseball. And I saw a lot of things in Puig that I didn't think he was going to be a good player. And I'm going to toot my own horn this time because I saw it. I mean, he's too about himself, not about his team. And, Terrell Owens plays football. Carmelo Anthony to a degree. These prima donnas, it don't work. You got to be humble. You have to put in the work, and you have to be a good teammate in order to make things work. And that ain't Puig.
Yeah, but say what you want about the comparison to Terrell Owens and Carmelo. Those guys produce. This guy is doing nothing.
Absolutely nothing. But going to the minors and pitching a fit about, possibly being traded and all that. So we'll see how everything shakes out. Willie, it's time to move on and give our power rankings for our leagues. You've got the American League's power rankings. I've got the National League. We'll come back with just a bit outside. All right, so American League, your top 5, go.
Yeah.
American League East, 5 through 3. Boston, Baltimore, Toronto in that order. Checking in at number 2, the Cleveland Indians. And ascending back to the number 1 spot in the American League in my power rankings, the Texas Rangers.
All right. Who is those teams? Give us those teams that are just a bit outside.
Well, this has only decreased to 1 team this week and likely will remain that way for the rest of the season. Actually, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. right now I have the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros, and I almost said that simply because the Astros have fallen on hard times as of late. They're coming off of a weekend series with the Rangers. They've lost, I think they're 1-9 against the Rangers so far this year. That's not good for a team that you're trying to chase down for an American League West championship.
Right. Got to be able to get some more wins against the teams the team that's ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go over to the National League. We'll go 5-1. I've got the St. Louis Cardinals. They're the MLB's definition of the model of consistency. Looking to get back to the playoffs, they made a trade for Zach Duke from the White Sox. Unfortunately for St. Louis, though, Aledmys Diaz has landed on the disabled list with a thumb fracture, but Johnny Peralta comes back, so it's kind of mix and match. Matt Carpenter and Brandon Moss have also come back for STL. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And in the words of Puff Daddy, the Dodgers' anthem this season should be, "We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere." Look, they've got a bunch of injuries, but they've continued to rub dirt on it and put Band-Aids on it and keep on going. Corey Seager.
That was pretty good, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Corey Seager, Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt about it. But Corey Seager, MVP of the National League? Things that make you go, Number 3, the San Francisco Giants. The heart and soul of their team has come back. The Daniel Stern lookalike and Hunter Pence has come back off of the disabled list, and they finally addressed the problems in their starting rotation by getting Matt Moore, Jeff Samardzija, and Madison Bumgarner. They've struggled a little bit of late, but a change of scenery for Matt Moore may give that rotation the boost that it needs. The Washington Nationals check in at number 2. They got Mark Melancon, the closer from Pittsburgh, to help out with an inconsistent Jonathan Papelbon. And, Steven Strasburg, through his first 16 decisions, 15-1, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that dude has found his niche. Number 1, the Chicago Cubs, back on top in the Donnie NL power rankings. And they've picked up, we mentioned Aroldis Chapman from the Yankees. They picked up Joe Smith from the Angels. Dexter Fowler is back and making plays and making a difference in that lineup. And Jason Hayward has still not found his full way. But if he can come around some and give some help to my guys Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, look out. Chicago Cubs will be very dangerous in the postseason. So, 5-1. Let's go back. St. Louis, the LA Dodgers, the San Francisco Giants, the Washington Nationals at 2, and the Chicago Cubs at 1. The teams for me who are just a bit outside. We've got the Marlins, second place in the National League East, the Mets. And, Willie, we have not mentioned one person from the trade deadline, so we'll go ahead and mention them now. Jay Bruce comes over from the Cincinnati Reds to the New York Mets. But here's my thoughts on the Mets. They should have also made more of a move for Jonathan Lucroy. And the rumors had it that Travis d'Arnaud was going to go to Milwaukee for Lucroy, but for whatever reason they weren't able to make that work. And Jay Bruce is not Yoenis Cespedes from last year. So
I don't think they're going to have enough, man.
Yeah, I don't think so either. With Harvey going down, they need him. They need stability in their rotation. Syndergaard, DeGrom, Matz, they're going to try to do it. 87-year-old Bartolo Colon, he's giving you what he can. He had a strong showing this past Thursday against the Yankees in the Bronx, where he pitched 6 2/3 of scoreless ball. You just kind of wonder how much longer will he be able to do that, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have the Colorado Rockies on just a bit outside. Unfortunately for them, Trevor Story had a broken finger, and he's going to be out for the year. And what a wonderful story. We've said this a few times on this show this season, but what a wonderful story it's been for Travis and for the Rockies. They've been hovering around 500 over the last week or so. But unfortunately, they've lost one of their better players. Still got Arenado, and they still have Cargo, of course, and Charlie Blackmon and those guys. But Trevor Story was quite the story, and they're going to miss him. All right, so Willie, just under 4 minutes left. Let's get in the top 5 in the majors. You or me?
I'm going to defer to you, sir.
I'm taking the second half kickoff. Okay, I keep wrong sport.
This is baseball.
Right, wrong sport. All right, so I'm going to go in traditional 1 to 5 order on these here. Top 5 in the majors. I've got the Cubs at 1, the Nationals at 2, the Texas Rangers. We mentioned getting Lucroy, getting Beltran is definitely going to hurt. Or excuse me, definitely going to help their cause. I've got the Giants. I meant to say help. I meant to say not hurt, and wound up saying hurt. The San Francisco Giants are 4, and then I've got the Cleveland Indians at 5. Cleveland's got some injuries that they're dealing with too. We'll see if Andrew Miller can give them that boost at the end of the game in order to shut down some games. So, top 5 in the majors: Cubs, Nats, Rangers, Giants, and Indians. Willie, who do you have?
I have the same exact teams, man. Just want to flip-flop 3 and 4. I have the Giants at 3 and the Rangers at 4. So mine are the Indians, the Rangers, the Giants, the Nationals, and the Cubs.
All right.
And a side note, man, on that, the Cubs, we raved about their run differential all throughout the beginning of the season. But quietly, the Nationals, they've put together a pretty good run differential number themselves. Coming into this weekend's play, 140 runs on the plus side.
Yeah. And that's just called beating teams up. I think they had a 14-1 win over the Diamondbacks during the last week. So, yeah, especially when you play bad teams, yeah, you got to beat up on them. All right, so let's play a little game here of we're gonna call this "I Wish," and so whatever song, if it's from Skee-Lo, "I Wish I Was a Little Bit Taller," or R. Kelly, "I wish, whoever. The name of the game is to pick a team, player, situation, etc. Detail what we wish could be going better or worse or what have you for this team. And so, Willie, we're going to choose teams or choose a situation from each league, an AL and an NL. We got about 1 minute left, so we'll get yours on this side, and then we'll get mine on the other side of the break.
Yeah, I'm going to cheat a little bit, man, because I'm going to straddle the fence. And I'm going to go right to the Windy City in Chicago and how I wish the White Sox would have kept up the pace that had me singing their renditions of an old hip-hop song earlier this year, and how we could have possibly had a Windy City World Series. Chris Sale, he started out like gangbusters. He was the best pitcher on the planet. Then all of a sudden he tore up a throwback jersey and landed himself on a suspension list. So, Windy City.
All right. Anything from the NL?
Well, the Cubs, I was just hoping that they would, I'm glad that they're continuing to do what they're doing. I would like to see them erase that ridiculous streak or that curse, and they're heading in the right direction. So I'm pretty good on that front right there, or on that wish.
All right, so we'll get mine when we come back from the break. We'll step out of the balance box and be right back here on the hashtag Brothers of Baseball on the Big Game Christian Sports Network.
It's not a team without t-shirts.
Custom t-shirts from Custom Ink are the easy way to connect any group. Our online design lab makes it simple to create a shirt design that your group will love. Or you can easily upload your own logo. Whether you need one shirt or thousands, Custom Ink can print any size order. And we know you can't wait for your new t-shirts. That's why we offer free shipping, and on-time delivery is guaranteed. Get a free price quote today at customink.com.
All right, baseball fans, it's time for our last segment, the third and final segment here on the hashtag Brothers of Baseball here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network, the official broadcast station of the Dallas Charge Pro Fast Pitch. This segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball is being brought to you by Pure Flix. Enjoy faith and family movies, TV shows, and educational programs anytime, anywhere for only $7.99 per month. Sign up for your 30-day free trial by going to bgcsports.net or on the BGC Sports app and click on the PureFlix banner and start your trial today. Willie and Donnie are back with you as we go on with our third segment here, and we'd started the I wish part, and it's my turn to discuss what I wish could have happened or should have happened during the season to this point. And Willie, you started talking about the White Sox, and that's exactly where I'm going to pick up, talking about the White Sox. I wish the White Sox would have cut more games out of Chris Sale's season. Get it? Cut. For his cutting of the throwback jerseys a couple weeks ago. I mean, you're a grown man. Why are you in a locker room with scissors? Where do they keep scissors in a locker room for a player to get by them, to get near them? Scissors. Cutting. You're a grown man. You cut some jerseys? Could you be more of a brat, Chris Sale? Instead of 5 days or 5 games or whatever it was, it should have been 15.
Conduct detrimental to the team.
Just my thoughts, man. Come on. Come on. In the National League, I wish the Mets would have hung on to Daniel Murphy. I'm not a fan of the Mets. I'm not a fan of the Nats. I'm a fan of the Braves, and that makes me hate both of them equally. I'm just saying. But for the Mets, it would have been cool to see a possible mini dynasty being built in Queens, because Daniel Murphy has been the difference between Washington winning and being in first place and the Mets being in third place.
That's part of it.
That's part of it, yeah. But
it's a big part of it, but it's a part of it.
It's a big part of it. I mean, think about it. Harvey's hurt, yes. But you still have DeGrom. You still have Syndergaard. You still have Matz. Okay.
They can't hit, though, and
that's my point.
And when those guys are struggling like they have periodically in at different points of the season, Murphy would have been right there to maybe stop some of that bleeding. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
And you made my point. I appreciate that.
That's why who we are.
That's why who we are wanting to be and supposed to try to be. So that's what we wish. Because, we don't hope. We wish.
Exactly.
That things should be better than they're going for some of the teams. I'm going to throw in a side, I wish. Just one off the record here, not dealing with Major League Baseball, but as the Rio Olympics have gotten started, I wish baseball could have been a part of this year's games. Would have been real cool to see baseball in the Olympics and seeing the U.S. and Cuba and Mexico and the DR, Dominican Republic that is, and Puerto Rico and all those countries kind of go at it. But they've got the World Baseball Classic coming up next year, so it's part of the reason why it may not have happened this year in the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. All right, Willie, so are you ready to look ahead to the big series in the coming week?
I am always ready to look into the crystal ball, sir.
All right, so you've got the American League, or if there's an interleague series that you kind of want to dissect, the mic is yours. You got it. What you got?
Well, it's interesting that you said that because I think you knew what I was going to do.
I looked at the schedule.
Yeah.
I saw the schedule.
Yes. But anyway, man, how can we just not go to the nation's capital? We got a mini 2-game series between the hashtag Believelanders out of Cleveland, the Indians taking on the Nationals. They're going to throw out there Trevor Bauer and his 7-5 record. 107 strikeouts against the one-time Cy Young Award winner, Max Scherzer, in the opening game. Bauer has struggled as of late. He is only 1-4 since July, and he got tagged against the Twins in his last start. He gave up 7 earned runs in only 2 2/3 innings. That's not good for that team that can't seem to beat the Twins this year. I think the Twins have beaten them in every game, with the exception of maybe 2.
Yeah, I know this past series that they played, Cleveland, I should say Minnesota won, was it 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think it was 3 or 4.
And I believe the Twins won the first 3.
Yeah.
As Max Kepler was hitting home run after home run after home run for Minnesota.
Yeah, they struggled against the Twins. I think I saw something where if they were playing if the Twins were playing the Indians only, they'd have a lead by like 15 in that division. But anyway, back to this particular series. So we have the Indians, and they're gonna the Nationals are gonna throw Max Scherzer, 6'3", 211-pounder out of St. Louis, 12-6 on the season. Very impressive 2.87 ERA, leading the majors in strikeouts with 198. He did have a 20 strikeout game this year. Is that correct, Donnie?
That is correct.
Yes. The probables have not been set for the second game, but these two teams, man, they are right there. They're both leading their divisions. Coming down the stretch, they have two of the most respected managers in the game, and Terry Francona from the Cleveland Indians, and my main man, Johnny Dusty Baker from the Washington Nationals.
Man, Dusty gonna call the network and say, man, y'all need to quit. Tell that guy to quit using my government name.
I am that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He goes say, man, I got warrants, man. You can't call out my government name on the air like that. Come on.
I'm going to keep this going, okay? Two other crucial weekend series with playoff implications include the Toronto Blue Jays going to Cleveland and Boston going to Detroit.
Boston, Detroit.
Mm-hmm. That could do some things.
Yeah, that's going to be some pretty heavy-duty stuff right there.
Yeah, the probables haven't been set yet, man, but the bats are going to be popping. The gloves are going to be popping this weekend with those two series.
All right. Good deal. Good stuff. Good stuff. Giants, Marlins from the National League. They'll hook up for 3 games, Monday through Wednesday, down in South FLA. The Giants will leave the nation's capital, where they're playing a 3-game set, or they played a 3-game set, I should say, against the Nationals, to head to Miami and then play the Marlins. So it's a bit of a rough East Coast swing for the San Francisco Giants. As we mentioned, the Marlins, they're in the playoff picture, contending for one of the 2 wild card positions. They're second in the National League East. They've just been playing some good, solid ball. Guess who's back, Willie? Guess who's back for the Marlins playing? Second baseman D. Gordon.
Is he back already?
He's back already, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That suspension seemed like it was about 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
And as we've said time and time again, it ain't early no more, Toto.
Mm-hmm. And he can help them get there, man, but he just won't be able to participate in the postseason.
Right.
We're going to get you to the end of the rainbow, but you just can't have the pot that's there.
Right. As my boy Beavis would say.
Hey, you can't say that, man. Well, I guess you can, but anyway.
Anyway. I can't deal with you, man. Game 1 looks like a matchup of Cueto versus Fernandez. I hope that game can be caught on television, internet, CB radio or something, because I want to see it and hear it. So sign me up to watch that one. Matt Moore, we'll see if he gets a start with his new ball club, coming from Tampa now to San Francisco. Again, that's San Francisco at Miami. Big 3-game set between the leaders of the NL West and one of the wild card hopefuls in the Miami Marlins. Then we'll fast forward to the weekend here coming up, and we'll focus on a series that it divides the middle of the country, so to speak. Those 2 bitter rivals going to go at it from the heartland, the I-55 showdown between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. As Willie alluded to, pitching probables aren't set forth as of this time, but nonetheless, it's going to be a great series. This is St. Louis's chance to kind of make a last-ditch effort at the NL Central Division. Still highly unlikely that they're going to catch Chicago for it. But, it's our show, and we dare to dream a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, look, Dexter Fowler is back in the Chicago Cubs lineup, and he's made all the world of difference for Chicago. I don't know if you saw the Sunday night game between the recent Sunday night game between the Mariners and the Cubs, but you had two oddities take place in that game. You had the pitcher, Travis Wood, playing left field, and he made a catch against the Ivy, man, that made like top 10 plays in web gyms and all that kind of stuff.
I didn't get a chance to see it as I was traveling back from somewhere, but I did see exactly what you're talking about, and it was a crazy, crazy play.
Where in the world is Carmen Williego?
Yes.
Then in that same game, you had John Lester put down a squeeze bunt to score Jason Hayward to win the game. And at one time, the Mariners, on the strength of three two-run home runs, that is, he's trying to say, had built a 6-0 lead and let it slip away. And the Cubs won that game. So we mentioned the Cardinals. They've gotten past some injuries. They've gotten some guys back from the DL. Cardinals, Cubs is always fun to watch. Doesn't matter where they're playing. Chicago's had some pretty good success against the Cardinals until their most recent series where the Cardinals went into Wrigley and put a beat down on the Cubs. So we'll see what takes place in that series. There's an interleague series also, Willie, that I want to focus on over the weekend. You've got the Baltimore Orioles going to the San Francisco Giants at AT&T Park. And that's Baltimore with Adam Jones of the Bay Area, a Bay Area native.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to go home, and he'll play against his hometown or his home area team in the San Francisco Giants. So that's what we're looking forward to for next week. And as always, check out our Twitter page at Bros, BROS, of BB, as in baseball. That's at Bros of BB. The Brothers of Baseball, that's our Twitter account. So when different things take place during the week and on the weekend, definitely want to stay tuned to our Twitter as we, kind of like to update everyone on the goings on in Major League Baseball. Willie, man, time flies when you're having fun. We're down to our last 2 minutes. Let's get your final thoughts in here, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say rest in glory to my fallen former teammate and good friend, Shannon Slack. We played basketball together at Ouachita Parish High School in Monroe. Slack was a couple years older than me. His nickname was Baby Jordan. He looked like Michael Jordan. He played like Michael Jordan. He could jump like Michael Jordan. He was our Michael Jordan. Passed away at the age of 46. Heartfelt condolences and prayers out to his wife, Pam, and their children. That is the third teammate that I've had to pass away from my high school basketball team in the last, I want to say 20 years. The fourth friend that I've had to pass, or the third teammate that I've had high school and middle school to pass away in the last 3 years. So rest in glory to Slack, and may our prayers and thoughts be with his family in this time.
Indeed, man. Wow, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I know you guys just celebrated your 25th class reunion not too long ago. And still, man, you guys are in no way, shape, or form old. You're still very young in this world. And, my condolences and prayers, all of our condolences and prayers out to the family, to you, Willie, and your former teammates and everything, as you guys go through that tragic loss. Really, my final thoughts are pretty basic, pretty simple. I just want the world to continue to love each other and continue to lean on each other and continue to believe in God, and that, his plan is the way. And we know there's been some crazy things going on in the world, but everybody just keep your head up and keep going strong. Willie, great show as always, man. Good to talk to you again. Can't wait to do it again real soon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for everything, my brother.
More than welcome.
All right, so stay tuned to more programming here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. This has been the hashtag Brothers of Baseball. For Willie, I'm Donnie. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. God bless you. We love you. We're out of here.